What is up everyone, and welcome to the channel. If it's your first time here, thanks for stopping by. In this video I photographed this GIXXER1000 owned by my friend Candace, who was in my very first POV photography video when I started this channel. In that video she had a GIXXER600 but has upgraded to a 1000 since then. What was unique about this GIXXER1000 was that it has a carbon fiber seat. This is the first time I ever seen such a mod. When she did a lot of professional motorcycle drag racing, I guess a carbon fiber seat helped reduce weight. She's totally comfortable with it, but when I sat on it, I could feel a lot of problems, especially since I'm a guy. The photo we are editing today is of her GIXXER with this backdrop of some shark graffiti. I don't normally schedule my photo shoots in the morning, but I wanted to try it for this shoot since the sun would be on the other side of that wall. The whole purpose of editing this one particular photo is just to make a thumbnail for this video. Yep, it's pretty meta. Before I start, here are some notes. I normally don't script out this part of the video and just freestyle it, so what you see may look different from the sets I post on Instagram or on my website. For most of my sets, I do go into Photoshop if there are some heavier editing I can't do in Lightroom. This is not really a tutorial, but just a way to show what I do when I'm editing. If you learn something from it, then great. So let's get to it. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. I noticed that the lines here are not straight, and normally when you have some kind of structure, you want to make sure the lines are straight. But the thing is that this wall wasn't straight to begin with, so let's kind of fix that. So what we want to do first is remove the chromatic aberration, which I don't really see any. You usually see it at the edges, but I was using a pretty good lens, so I don't think there is much chromatic aberration. And then we'll do some lens corrections. Yeah, that worked. So let's go ahead and kind of fix these lines right here. So we can do vertical. I think it's fixed. I mean, no, it's not. If you look at these grids, it's not really straight, especially on the right side. So let's go ahead and do a guided. Yeah, I think this is straight enough. Yeah, that looks good. Now this is kind of dark right here, so I think I want to boost the shadows up. So let's go ahead and do that. Yep, looks good. And then we'll bring down the highlights because it's kind of blown out. What sucks is that there was no clouds, so it would have been more interesting if there were clouds right here, but I mean, I can do it in Photoshop, but for this purpose of this video, I'm not going to do that. I'll just kind of keep it to this kind of blue color. And yeah, I don't normally shoot in mornings, but because of, this particular shot, I wanted to kind of have some shade because the sun is coming this way or coming down this way. Yeah. And yeah, I just kind of want to not shoot in the afternoons and have this kind of blown out right here. So I think that's fine right there. So next thing I'm going to do is mess with the colors. It's kind of muddy right now. I'm not sure if it shows up well on your screen, but yeah, to me it looks kind of muddy, so I'll just bring up the vibrance a little bit. And wow, that blue right here just got really intense, so I'll just kind of maybe around 45 looks good. And then let's go ahead and kind of bring the blues up. Well, I don't know if I want it that high, but mess with the aquas. I think that's okay. I definitely want to have the reds up, and I think that looks good. I want to make the red pop more on the bike, so let's bring that up. I don't like the color of this ground, so I think this is either yellow or orange, so let me mess with the yellow. Yeah, it is yellow. I don't like that. So I mean, the warmer looks good over here because it was a morning time and it's a little bit warm in the morning, so yeah, I think that works okay. And let me see what else I can do for the colors. Let me go down to the calibration, kind of make it a little bit more teal orange, which is not going to show up that well, but Yeah, this red did pop a little bit. And then let me go to red primary. It made it a little bit more bold, so I think that looks good, especially right here. It's really, really bold. But I gotta do something about the muddiness of the photo here. But before I do that, let me sharpen it up. So let me hit this right here and go to the nose of the bike, because that's where we want to focus on. And let's sharpen it up a bit. I'm going to zoom in. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So zoom in. There's some noise right there, but so we'll just put on some masking. So we just have the edges sharpened, and then we'll just do some noise reduction. Not so much that it looks like too plasticky, but you know, you want some noise in there just to keep it look natural. Wow, now that I kind of zoomed out, I feel like the blues are just overpowering over here. So maybe I just want to drop the blues a little bit. It's kind of muddy, huh? Let me just mess around over here in the calibration. Okay, well, I think what I gotta do is I just gotta highlight the bike some more. So I'll just go into this brush tool right here, and let's go exposure 120, and then we'll see how it looks like when I paint over. Wow, that's a little too much, but I'm just gonna adjust it right after I do all the painting. I think this is gonna be okay. So just do some of the highlights of the bike. Oh yeah, I definitely gotta turn down the exposure. Yeah, around here looks good. I'll put some contrast so it doesn't look too feathery. Yeah, I think this is fine right here. Huh, okay. Oh. Let me bring it up a little bit. Okay, I think that's fine. So I hit done. And then let me see now. What I think I can do is to make this backdrop not so muddy looking, I'm gonna do a gradient. So I'm just gonna drag right here, and I'm gonna use this shadow right here as a guide where the light is coming from. So it's kind of bright, so I'm just gonna adjust it right there. Hit the shadows up a little bit, not too much, and some contrast. But now this part here is blown out, which I don't want. Let me mess with the temperature a little bit. Yeah, I think that looks good right there. But yeah, again, this is blown out, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do some adjustments with another gradient. There we go. And then we'll just bring the exposure down low. There's this weird line right there, so I'll just bring it up. And I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's good. Now this floor right here does not look that good. So what I think I can do is add another gradient mask right here. So I'll do that. Breaking up the ground a little bit. The shadow is not straight. I think it's because of the wall, but it's fine. You know, I see a halo right here. I'll mess with that later, but right here I'm just gonna I think this is good. Let me mess with the temperature. Oh yeah, I kind of like that. That yellowish here wasn't that good looking. And let me see. I think that's fine. Let me kind of bring this down a little bit. So hit done. I think that's fine. I do see a little bit haloing over there because of the gradient. Let me see if I can bring it like that. You know, I think that's fine. I mean, there's a little shadow right here, but it's not too bad. So let me scroll up. I'll bring up the clarity a bit, make it pop a little bit more. Add a little texture, and then let's go to the curves. So we'll do a 3-point curve right here. Well, actually 5 points, but These 3 main points are the ones you want to mess with. Well, actually use all points, but most of the time I'm using like these right here. So I'll just bring it down. I want some details, so I'm not going to bring this shadows too low. We'll crush the blacks a little. Oops, you know what I did? I added another point which I didn't want to do. So crush the blacks a little bit. Bring up the highlights. And the bike pops out a little bit more, which I like. So let's do a dehaze and see what happens. So there was this haze when I did do gradient. I'm not quite sure if you noticed, but yeah, now we kind of got rid of that. So let's see what else can we do. Oh, let's mess with the color grading. So with the midtones, I kind of like it a little bit warmer. Yeah, like that. It did change the color of the ground again, but you know what? This isn't too bad. I feel it isn't too bad. So it's like around this orange color. And the shadows, let's see if we can do anything about that. Yeah, so maybe that's a little too much actually. I don't like that. Yeah, right there. It's a little subtle. I don't know if you guys can see on the screen, but it's okay. And then with the highlights, I don't think I see anything that like, well actually that looks okay. Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. And then let me just go ahead and just kind of see what else I can mess with. So bring the blacks up a little bit. Okay, you can see a little bit more of the bike. What's the problem is that there is some issues right here with the bike, which I don't want to fix, especially this exhaust burning through the plastics right there. It's okay though. I mean, you know, at least the bike's being used. That's the whole point. And then I think that's it. Let's do before and after. All right, so as you can see, it's big changes right there. I think there's some good changes. I feel like this is a bit muddy still, but it's kind of my fault for shooting this time of day. But you know, now I know. Maybe I'll come here in like the afternoons or something, because there are some buildings on the other side of the street, and maybe it won't, you know, like be too bad if I shoot with the sun on the other side. And that is it. If you want to see all the photos from this set, please check out my Instagram or my website. Links are in the description. If you learned something, give a like, and if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.